Welcome, everyone, to today's explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through a concept so radical, so completely groundbreaking, that it just might change your nights forever. Get ready, because we're looking at the audacious, almost unbelievable idea that getting a solid 8 hours of sleep is, brace yourself, actually incredibly easy. Okay, let's dive into this. Why is getting 8 hours of sleep so profoundly exhausting? It's kind of the great paradox of our modern lives, isn't it? We all share this deep collective frustration. We literally just want to close our eyes and rest, yet somehow the modern sleep industry has turned the absolute most basic human biological function into this absurdly complex, high-stakes operation. We stress out about not sleeping perfectly, which, of course, is exactly the thing that keeps us awake in the first place. So that brings us to part one, the sleep wellness trap. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what I mean. What used to be as simple as putting your head on a pillow has evolved into this massive, demanding industrial complex. We now face this absolute gauntlet of toxic productivity just to get some rest. I mean, step one, buy expensive sleep trackers. You apparently need a pricey piece of tech strapped to your wrist, measuring your heart rate variability and REM cycles, literally just to tell you how badly you slept. Then, step two, swallow magnesium supplements, ashwagandha, maybe some tart cherry juice, and a dozen other obscure powders. And finally, step three, execute a rigid evening protocol. We've totally turned going to bed into a highly managed workflow. You actually have to perfectly execute a series of high-effort tasks just to earn the right to fall unconscious. 12. Just think about that number for a second. 12-step evening protocols. It really highlights the sheer absurdity of where we've ended up. Instead of just listening to our bodies, we've basically accepted this heavy burden of sleep hygiene as if it's a demanding second job. Picture this, you're dimming the lights at exactly 8:15 p.m., you've got your blue light blocking glasses on, you're meditating on a specialized mat, journaling your gratitude, and doing targeted breath work, all while anxiously watching the clock tick closer to midnight. The biological need to sleep is so incredibly simple and innate, yet we've let it get completely buried underneath a mountain of optimization routines that honestly leave us more wired than when we started. Which leads us to part two, the 2-hour genius myth. Now, what's really interesting about this is what happens when we look at the other extreme. If we step away from the wellness trap for a second, we run face first into the corporate counterculture. We're constantly sold this myth of the 2-hour sleep genius. You know the type, the visionary tech founder or executive who claims that sleep is for the weak, supposedly operating on pure innovation, black coffee, and sheer drive. But the cynical, harsh reality? They definitely aren't superhuman. The reality is they are usually just sitting at their desks, absolutely miserable, their eyes are glazed over, they're completely checked out of their personal lives, and they are literally running on fumes. This completely tears down that whole idea of the productive genius, exposing the simple fact that chronic exhaustion doesn't make you a visionary, it just makes your daily life incredibly bleak and entirely unsustainable. Moving right along to part three, the other room strategy. Let's see how this builds on what we've talked about. Because if the 12-step wellness trap is exhausting and the 2-hour genius route just makes us miserable, what's the actual solution here? Well, prepare yourselves for a completely different approach. It's brutally honest, it is ultra simple, it's the ultimate zero-effort method. Just put your phone in another room or hide it. That's literally it. This completely replaces that whole expensive wellness arsenal. No wearables buzzing on your wrist, no magnesium powders, no 12-step countdowns. Just you separating yourself physically from the glowing rectangle that demands your constant attention. It costs exactly $0 and requires absolutely zero effort to maintain once you simply walk out of the room. So the crucial point is, why is this so incredibly hard for us to accept? Well, it's because of one simple truth. You won't miss anything since no one calls you in the first place. It's a direct, deeply cynical, and honestly incredibly relatable attack on our ego. We keep our phones right next to our pillows because we like to feel important, right? We like to think there might be an emergency, a vital message from a colleague, a life-changing alert in the middle of the night that only we can handle. But the harsh truth that makes this strategy so brutally effective is simply admitting to ourselves that we really aren't that important. The world is going to keep spinning, nothing is going to happen, you won't miss a thing. So, are our sleep issues actually just phone addiction wrapped up in a wellness complex? It's something we really need to challenge ourselves with. Have we pathologized perfectly normal restlessness just because we're secretly terrified of being alone with our own thoughts in the dark? Do you truly need an expensive sleep tracker, a bespoke supplement routine, and a rigid evening protocol to hack your biology? Or do you just need the humility to leave your phone in the other room? I'll leave you to think about that tonight when you go to bed. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, I really hope you get some easy, effortless rest.